Hey, welcome back to another Black City coffee vlog. In this video, we're going to do a little cupping. You guys saw in my last video that I had supposedly found the profile for the new decaf that we're going to be offering in here, and I've really been wrestling with it because decaf was really hard for me to roast, and I didn't feel too bad because when I started to do research about it, I learned that, yeah, it's kind of a difficult thing to roast, you know. We have here that Colombian sugarcane processed decaf, and then we have a Mexico Chiapas Swiss water decaf. So first thing has got to be, is it a coffee that Black City Coffee wants to offer? You know, does it match our what we want to do, you know, what coffees that we want to offer on our menu. So to me, when I cupped these a while back, I was thinking the Colombian for sure. I'm thinking now with the way that I've roasted it, and I even tasted it this morning, not as a cupping, but just as a coffee, a regular decaf, like as a regular consumer would consume this decaf, and I was very happy with it. Now I want to dive in, I want to get some notes, I want to write down some things, and I'm doing 12 grams in 204 grams of water. We're gonna cup them at around maybe 8 minutes or so. Thank you for all the support on IG though. It's my first time charging coffee. I didn't think I was gonna do that day. I was really just gonna let Kevin do it, but I was like, you know what, let me just try, and then that's kind of how it's been going in terms of recovery, is like, let me just see. But doing that, I did a lot yesterday, a lot of roasting. I'm very sore today. So after this cupping and probably editing it and all that stuff, all the work that it takes to put out this content, resting. Mario, Red Dead. It's hard not to want to create more and more content because it's what I love to do. Cool. Clear and start. So I just let the timer run, a little trick I learned from Lauren. That way I know when it hits, you know, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes to go back in there and start cupping different temperatures. I'll do this and then I'll just kind of smell the back of the spoon. Okay. Yeah, like I said before, like, I don't really get much from breaking the crust anyway. That one smells much more roastier. Obviously, I roasted this Mexican decaf to a full city level. And then maybe I'll throw it up, what the curves look like. And then this at a City Plus level. Okay, let's go ahead and remove the grounds. So we have the coffees here just for reference. This Colombian is quite shiny and red, which is pretty cool. Like it's a very pretty coffee. And Colombia has just such really great coffees coming out of it. Obviously it's, you know, one of the big four, and it's really good stuff. And as I've been learning and cupping now a lot of different types of coffees and going back to the processes that I first were cupping 2 years ago, which was like, I really liked washed coffees because they had a really clean cup. I wasn't really into anything else. I had nothing else to compare it to. And now that I've had a chance to cup a lot of different types of, not a lot, but well, I'd say a good amount of different types of processes, from honey to dry to the fermented stuff to the geishas to wash, double wash, things like that. I'm really finding that all the good stuff of life has something to do with some kind of fermentation, you know. So but the beans look well developed, nicely, not too swelled where the face of the bean, which is where the crack is like, it's not too puffed up, but it's not too convex, right? It's not in, it's not out, it's kind of like right there, which I feel. And if I'm looking at the color, it's really just a weird color too. It's just very red and shiny compared to this full city roast with some oils present. There's like some little oil spotting going on. This is an older coffee in terms of freshness, and this is a much fresher coffee. And this is developed to like a full city profile. This did smell more chemical-y as a green than this one, than the Mexico one. But then when it goes through the roasting, it goes through brewing, you're just really not gonna get any of that. Okay, let's cup. Got it. I didn't get that one. Or I don't like it. To me, it's like kind of weird cupping medium roast or dark roast coffees, just because like I don't drink that, you know, I don't really drink that. But if I were to, like, somebody did ask me, how do you cup for espresso? Before I had an answer, I actually read about it in Rayo's book, and he was like, yeah, just go cup espresso like you would any other coffee, you know. And imagine that maybe some of those louder cupping notes will be more pronounced just because it's put under a lot more pressure in an espresso machine. So you would still like kind of treat it the same way, but I don't have any real, I mean, not real life experience, but that's not how I would have initially thought about it. I would have just tasted the espresso and see what I tasted from there, like a real brewed espresso. Okay. All right, I called it. I nailed it. The Colombian one wins, bar none, and the profile wins after roasting it for the third time. So it really goes to show, like, when I was making better systems, taking better notes, and just that feedback loop of plan, roast, assess, cup. You must cup, and then finding, you know, finding what you want in the cup. And I didn't explain why it wins, but here, so I cup this. First of all, it's a soft fruit. It's a really nice round body. It feels balanced in terms of being bright and sweet, but more on the bright side. So if we were to look at the scale of taste for coffee, we have acidic on one side, sweet on another. It's more on the acidic side. Definitely chocolate, just a nice soft chocolate. But then imagine eating like some kind of fruit with it. I'm trying to nail down what that fruit is. I want to say red, like red is the color coming out to me. So sometimes, I learned this from Derek, is like, maybe you don't have the fruit like nailed, like, oh, this is strawberry. Maybe you don't know. So maybe use colors instead to describe what you're tasting. It feels red because, and say for example, in comparison to green, like green would be tart, like a green apple or something, whereas red has a brightness or has a tartness, but isn't so tart that you're like making a face. Like, it just feels bright and juicy. So definitely that's a word I would describe this coffee is, as juicy. And that's why I choose this coffee to be the decaf offering for Black City Roasters. So juicy, soft chocolate with a red fruit component at the front. That's how I would say. And then the finish is juicy. It's not a strong finish. I think it leaves the palate for wanting more because it's juicy, but not bitter or anything like that. And probably one of the best decaf I've ever tasted ever. So I'm so happy that it's available for us to roast and to offer to you guys, and that I feel very confident about roasting it on a consistent basis for sure. So that one is a winner. And I feel like I found what I was looking for, where it's like, I know I'm not gonna get the most outlandish flavors with a decaf, but please be out there. Like, where's the brightness? Where's the acidity profile? Where's the decaf that I could roast to like a city level, right? So this is not quite city, it's city plus. And we won't really know, like, in terms of a number until I would get like one of those color light scale thingies. but they're extremely expensive. So we're gonna do our best with all the other factors that we have to judge a coffee's doneness. But yeah, it's really good. It's really tasty. I'm gonna throw out the other one that I had roasted. It's just, whenever I drink it, for me personally, I'm like, I just don't feel good with it, you know? I wonder what I could do with it. I could definitely use it for like product shoots and things like that, because on the surface it doesn't look bad. Yeah, and in comparison to the Mexico, which is a very common coffee, it's really easy to get, which is another reason why we're not offering it. Well, one is because it doesn't taste good to me. You know, like it doesn't fit our offering. Well, it could be my own failure to roast this perfectly. And that's not completely my fault because the sample size was so small. So being that I'm trying to roast 100 gram sample on a 1,000 gram machine, there's gonna be some discrepancies where you can't really replicate, you know, if I ran a full batch basically, or a full charge. So, you know, but even with all those sort of like handicaps, when I cup it, it's just not exciting versus the Colombian. The Colombian, you're just so kind of shocked that it's a decaf, you know? It doesn't taste like that. It doesn't taste hollow, which I think a lot of decafs, or just like one note, a lot of decafs that I've tasted have tasted like that. Even though they're specialty coffee, it's just like once they take out that caffeine element, so much character, you know, is lost in that process. So I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited to offer it to you guys. Once we get, you know, kind of like our green store stocked with that, we have some in the greenery here in the back. If you could see, I have like a couple of pounds, but it won't be officially on the site until, you know, we have that big bag in the back right here in our green storage. But yeah, that's gonna be really cool and exciting. So Colombia decaf sugarcane process, it's solvent method of decaffeination, but it doesn't mean that there's chemicals in it or anything like that. They just use this solvent to remove the caffeine, and then they wash it pretty thoroughly after, and hopefully leave all the origin, like I think they did really well here. So we're going to be offering that soon, hopefully. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something. Like this video if you did, subscribe for more content like this, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.